Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch, and by popular request, today I'm going to do an updated kitchen tour. And things changed a little since the last one I did a few months ago. But basically, I think everybody wants to see just how I managed to do this and do it successfully. So let's go look and see what's hiding in my cabinets and my fridge and my freezer, and how that actually fits in with the mindset that makes it easier for me to accomplish this and not stray. So we're going to try to do this in one take, and here we go. And let's see, we'll start here, and then we'll just go around the kitchen, and I'll just start opening things up, and you can see what I have and what I've kept and what I've thrown away, because I have thrown away a lot of it. All right, we'll just start with these cabinets. This is just storage for pots and pans and appliances. I still kept that toaster. I don't know why, but I did in my little house cleaning adventure. I've got two old Cosori air fryers, which I didn't want to throw away. I'll keep them as backups. One of them had a bad power cord or something was wrong with it, and they replaced it, so I ended up with two of them. But I did keep the old one because it still works. I'll probably throw that away. There's my sous vide machine. I got a blowtorch, an old coffee maker. The blowtorch is for searing things, and every once in a while, if I want something a little more well done, I'll just torch it. Over here on the top of my counter is my new Z-Star air fryer, and then we move over to the stove right here, and on the stove top I've got the two frying pans that I use. This is the one I use, the new one, the Mueller, that I use for making bacon and eggs, and that's about it for that. And then the my favorite pan, the Dubai or Debuyer Mineral B carbon steel pan, that is the secret to why so many restaurants cook great food. So that's the stove. And up above in these cabinets I have your basic small kitchen utensils, my infrared thermometers, some other thermometers, little stuff like that. Up top here, I don't know why I saved this thing. It chops up vegetables, but I kind of missed it on my last house cleaning. That's probably going to go to Goodwill in the next run. My hamburger press and a scale, digital scale up here that I use when I package up hamburger or have to weigh things, even things that go to the post office. Over here, Tupperware. Here, this is a little thing of grapeseed oil and a rag that I use every once in a while if I have to re-season the Dubai pan. I have some spices, pork rind crumbs, some garlic salt, some barbecue rub that I bought to experiment with, a whole bunch of different no-calorie, no-sugar barbecue sauces that I bought from Amazon, and basically all stay unused because I don't really like any of them. I probably throw them away too. I've gotten in the habit of throwing away everything unless I'm going to use it. That's part of making a commitment to yourself to, if you don't use it, don't have it around. Whatever you have around is just another possibility to do something you really didn't want to do. This is there's some coconut oil back there. This is smoked salt. This is the blend seasoning. This is some regular table salt. I just never use that, the iodized salt. I still have a bottle of avocado olive oil, and this grapeseed oil I bought just for the purpose of seasoning. There's 2 cans of Pam in there that I don't use for cooking or anything, but occasionally if the something on an appliance needs a little lubricating, I rather use that than motor oil. And a pepper, I hardly use peppers, so my automatic pepper shaker's up there. And down here, next to the stove, are all the utensils that I use, spatulas. This is a plastic spatula I use whenever I use the non-stick pan. The good news about the Dubai pan is you don't have to worry about scratching it. This is Himalayan pink salt. This is Redmond's real salt. I have my knife assortment, stuff to wash dishes with. My sink, we don't need to worry about what's under the sink. A bunch of plumbing and cleaning supplies. Coming over here is, I have a dishwasher, but I never make enough dirty dishes to use it. So maybe once every couple of months I run it just to keep it going. But I just wash my dishes here. Back in the corner there's a assortment of coffee mugs, water bottles, things like that, thermos jugs, which I basically only use this one anymore to drink my electrolytes in. My coffee maker, because I'm going to have my coffee. We've talked about that. Over here is my vacuum sealer, which I use a lot. Microwave, which I hardly use for anything. In fact, the last time I used it was to melt some ghee so that I could have clarified butter with my seafood. But other than that, it hardly gets used anymore. This is my steak plate. This is some coffee grounds, and that's about it. Up in these cabinets here, this is my drugstore, let's say, electrolyte powder, iodine drops, potassium capsules, stuff to clean the coffee maker with, and there's some decaf. If I feel like having coffee after a cup or two of regular coffee, I'll use decaf in the Keurig. Up top here, some old Advil and stuff I just keep around, some Tums, which I hardly ever use. The only thing in my whole entire house that probably has, and it's sugar-free, has any artificial sweetener in it, is these cough drops, and they're hardly ever used, and you never know what's going to happen, and you get into a coughing jag. It's nice to have them around at least, but that's about the only thing that I even allow that resembles bad stuff in my whole house. Over here, of course, plates and bowls and stuff, and I'm kind of a minimalist, and that's about it. The drawers, or the cabinet down here, is pots and pans and aluminum foil, parchment paper, stuff like that. Down in the drawers, I have a junk drawer like everybody else full of batteries. I have paper bags and some knives like this that are just too big to fit in my knife holder. These are inexpensive Sam's Club knives, and I hardly ever use them, but sometimes if you have to butcher something, they're nice to have. This drawer has what everybody has, all the miscellaneous kitchen junk, and the top drawer is silverware, and that's all there is to that. Now, let's get to the interesting part here. Start with the freezer. This is pretty much where my food lives, and what won't fit in here is in the freezer outside, and I'll show you that. But the most important thing in my freezer is my supply of Wright's thick bacon from Sam's Club. And that's one of my staples, and I eat it every day. I buy chicken wings. They come in a big flat at Sam's Club, and there's enough for 3 meals in there. So when I buy them fresh, I eat one of them that day and vacuum seal 2 more meals, 6 or 7 big wings in each one of these. And I take them out the night before and put them in the refrigerator. Down here, I got some baby back ribs. this out of the way. I always keep in my freezer 1 pound packages of hamburger that I make, some steaks. Steaks over here. These over here are chuck roasts, and this package is the 1 full rack of ribs that I cooked in the air fryer, and I'll take these out, thaw them out when I'm ready to have these big pork ribs again, and I'll put 1/2 a rack in the air fryer and finish them off. That's what I have in my freezer. In my door, I have very little here. This is fish, this is sea bass, all this is wild caught stuff, and I love the smoked salmon, so I always keep a supply of those. And the freezer's telling me to close the door. Now, the refrigerator. I always get a kick out of the refrigerator because it's pretty much empty. So what I have in the refrigerator up top here is where I keep bacon and eggs. And next time I make an omelet, which will be tomorrow because I'm having lunch with my son today, I will go to Sam's Club, buy a couple more of these pasture-raised egg flats. And this is bacon that I took out of the freezer yesterday and put in here. And it's thawed out nice now. So that's going to be 1, 2, 4 different meals. There's 2 pounds of bacon here. 4 slices of this is 1/2 pound. And when I make bacon and eggs, it's 1/2 pound. So that's where I keep that. Down here is some smoked salmon that I've been working on. Here's probably a pound of burger, and I'll probably have that for my second meal today. There's a case of San Pellegrino, and that's it. Nothing in the drawers down here. They're empty. Butter, Kerrygold, ghee, bacon grease, lemon juice, which I used to drink, but now I basically only use it if I have to clean something. And I can't even remember the last time I went into that. And a Brita water pitcher. Down here we have butter. This is regular butter. This is Kerrygold. This is my bacon grease storage thing. And these little silicone racks, when I want to dry brine a steak, I take a plate, I put this down so that the air can circulate under the steak, and I salt it and put it back in the refrigerator. And that's it. That's the total of what I have for food in my refrigerator. Now, moving on over to this big pantry, and I've probably got the same assortment of glasses and cups I never use. In here we have pork rinds, big things of pork rinds. We have, and this is it, pink salt, real salt, little bit of iodized salt left over, some extra olive oil that I bought and never used, tuna, pork rind crumbs, more tuna, anchovies, and sardines. Towels and stuff up there. That's it. That's my total food pantry right there. Down here, I have some waffle makers for all the experimenting I did with chaffles, which I never do anymore. Over here, there's my slow cooker. Behind that is a slicer, which I hardly ever use, but I might, occasionally want to slice meat or anything. Some Memento bottles of champagne, and an old bottle of what's left of Crown Royal, which I haven't touched in years and years, and generally only had it, not being a drinker, for entertaining when somebody came over if they wanted a drink. In here, I have some vacuum sealing bags. I have this thing, which is kind of really neat. This is a cooktop. a butane cooktop. So if something happens, we get a storm, the power goes out, and I'm stuck, and I don't want to have to fire up the big barbecue outside in order to cook stuff. This thing is terrific. I bought it for emergency purposes. I have used it once just to see how it works. It works great, and that is something, they're not expensive, I think, that everybody should have. Put this back where it came from here. Pardon the camera gymnastics. I have spare fuel for that thing, and that's it. That's it in this big pantry. So down here, some older pots and pans. There's my old Ozeri. That's a kind of a vintage box of glass Coca-Cola glasses. There's some water and coffee pods. And there you have it. All of my secrets out in the open. And that's all I have in the house. Okay, out here in my little shed, I've got a 5 cubic foot, not a huge freezer, but a 5 cubic foot deep freeze chest freezer. This one came from Best Buy. You see the same freezer at Costco, Sam's, or online, about $200. Does the job, and inside are nothing but steaks. I mean, if I get a good buy on some pork ribs or chicken, I'll throw them in here. But right now, all I got in here are steaks. I've got these bags of steaks, probably 20, 30 pounds in here. And these are ribeyes. I write on the steaks where I get them. This I got in July from Sam's Club. This particular one, I weigh them 19 ounces. I try to make sure I find good steaks, and I just store them out here, and then maybe a half a dozen at a time. I'll take them out of here and take them in-house and put them in the freezer there where I'll use them. And when I take these steaks out of this freezer, I always try to find the oldest batch first and make sure that the newer ones aren't reaching a point where they're getting too old. I think, from my experience, 1 year in a deep freeze, vacuum sealed like this, is perfect. So the longest I'll go is maybe 8 or 9 months, and I'm done buying steak for a while, because I've got enough in here probably last me the next 6 months. And there you have it. That's my kitchen tour. I've shown you I've opened every door. You see what I have in here, and it's all I need. I spend so little time, even though it appears that I'm always in the kitchen in my videos. I spend so little of my life thinking about food, buying food, eating food. Food is actually down at the bottom of my priority lists, like filling my car with gasoline. And that is the change in mindset that's happened to me since I started nourishing my body with everything that it needs to be as healthy as it can be, doing the carnivore diet. If you have a family, if they've filled your house full of junk, that's a temptation. That's going to make it next to impossible for you to do this. I know that sounds tough, but based on the failures of so many people who are doing this lifestyle, it's evident that out of sight is truly out of mind, whether you realize it in your conscious mind or your subconscious mind is paying attention to this stuff that you don't realize. So there you go, my updated kitchen tour, and with that, you guys can take the rest of the day off and eat meat.